guys, so I'm back with a new video and let's talk about Saw. So yeah, this video is coming to you a little bit later than I wanted to, but honestly I just couldn't really do anything about it because I actually got to watch a press screening of Saw 10 because this isn't out here in Portugal yet. It's coming out on Halloween, which kind of makes sense, but it's really like a bummer because this came out in the US like almost a month ago. And actually I got really lucky that I didn't catch any like spoilers or anything, and I didn't watch I never watched the trailer. I didn't really catch any like promos and marketing and everything, so I was able to avoid that. But still, like, this came out, a long time ago. This came out like almost a month ago, and by now there has been so many things coming out that people aren't talking about Saw anymore. But hey, I hope you are still interested in my thoughts on Saw 10. This is actually coming out on VOD like next week or something, so yeah, maybe if you didn't catch it in the cinema, maybe you get to watch it at home, and maybe my review will help you like decide if you should rent it, buy it, something. So yeah, without further ado, let's get to the video. Because I like to give you like a summary of sorts of the film, I'm gonna try and be as vague as possible because I think you shouldn't really know much about the film going into it, so you have like the full effect. And there are a lot of summaries out there that spoil one big thing about the film. So please, like, try not to read much into it, not like watch. I don't know, I haven't watched the trailer yet, but yeah, just try not to look too much into the film. But I'm gonna tell you that this film is set in between the events of Saw 1 and Saw 2, and basically the story of this one is that like John, like Jigsaw, is trying to find a cure for his cancer, and he like stumbles across like something experimental, and he goes to Mexico to do that surgery, but something goes wrong. And I'm not gonna tell you anything else because if I get too much into it, I will spoil one thing that's really major about the film. So that's it. As we all know, this film is like the comeback to the franchise of Tobin Bell. So the movie not only stars him, but it also stars Shawnee Smith, who you might remember as Amanda. And obviously there are some other returning characters, but also new characters, obviously, and some of them are Snove Marcodi Land. I'm really sorry, I'm definitely butchering her name, but yeah, she's one of the main new characters, as well as Renata Vaca. She's Mexican from what I know, and yeah, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right as well. In other characters, obviously there has to be some people to kill, and yeah, let's just get to what you want to know, which are my thoughts on the film. So as I said, I'm watching this almost a month after it came out in the US, and even though I didn't catch any promo and marketing, I did hear about people saying that this was the best Saw film ever, which yeah, I was a bit cautious with that statement. because one, I just didn't really believe it, and two, it's a big claim, so I didn't really want to have like my hopes really high. But obviously I just knew this film couldn't be as good, at least as the first one. And in my opinion, it isn't as good as the first or the second or the third, but it is in my top 5. I think I still prefer 5, but that's mostly because of nostalgic like feeling. Also because I really like the plot twist in that one. But this is probably on my 5th spot of favorite films. It's definitely better than like the previous ones that we got. But no, it isn't as good as the first one. I don't know, maybe it's just like I have some nostalgia towards the first film, but no, I can't say it is as good or better than the first film. But it is a really good film, and I'm really happy what they were able to do. Having in mind that this film takes place between the first one and the second, and that's a bit tricky. Like, it's something that could go really wrong because they have to pay attention to the time period, what has happened, and what's going to happen. And that's why I think this movie takes place in Mexico. I think they decided to go outside of the US because otherwise, like, if it took place in the US, the events in this film had to be mentioned in the next installments, which obviously this one, like, it's new. There was no way they could like talk about these events, and like all of this happening outside of the US, there's like the possibility of like them not knowing about what happened. And yeah, so at first I wasn't really into it. I just thought it was a not choice, but after thinking about it, I think it makes sense, and it was good that they made that choice. As far as the story goes, it definitely relies a lot on having Tobin Bell back, Amanda back, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm happy with that because like having John, like the character in the film, really makes you like care a lot more about what's happening, and yeah, it really connects you to the story, and they do take time to like develop what's going on and like why he's in Mexico and how everything like happens. So I like that, and it definitely follows the Saw formula. If you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. Like, not only visually, there's like the same tones, like same colors. They did try to do the same editing style, but I'm also talking in terms of how the story flows. There's twists, there's like a few things that if you've seen the other Saw films, you can recognize the similarities. And although I did like it, it also made the film kind of predictable. Like, there's one or two twists were kind of predictable, but still I would rather have this than have something like that. He's full of plot holes, and yeah, like Jigsaw, even though I do like Jigsaw, I think that film is full of plot holes and things that don't make sense. So yeah, just stick to the formula and make some tweets that could be predictable, but maybe they aren't. It depends on the person. I have seen the Saw films many times. So yeah, I knew that something was going on. So yeah, but I liked it. As far as the traps go, which is why we watch a Saw film, let's be honest. These weren't my favorite traps, but they were pretty gory and smart. I'm kind of sad that the best trap didn't really happen. And I'm not gonna say much more about that, but if you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. And I also think most of these traps weren't doable. Like, they didn't have enough time to complete them, which you might argue that this was in the beginning of like John Kramer doing these traps, so you wasn't fully aware how much time people needed to do them. I don't know, but I think most of them weren't really doable and people just couldn't finish them. Also, some of them weren't really fair, and yeah, but they were gruesome. So yeah, that's what we want out of a Saw film, like good traps with good gore and like basic, like well thought out story that doesn't need to be really elaborate, but it just has to make sense. And I guess that's what we got from this film. It was well thought out because they incorporated this one really well in between those two films. It had good traps, it had tons of gore, it had characters that we like and that we care about. So yeah, I'm happy with this film. Again, not the best, but top 5. So yeah. So with that, let's get to my scores. So overall, I'm gonna give Saw 10 3.5 out of 5. I can't get to a 4 because it isn't as good as Saw 2 and Saw 3, which I gave a 4 out of 5. But it's a pretty good one, like definitely above average. It's way better than like the last 5 installments. So like that. Cinematography, I give it a 3 out of 5. They really tried to mimic the vibe of the other films, but they didn't get it just right. They were similar in some of the traps, like the editing and stuff was good in some ways, but it wasn't as gritty as the other films. Like, yeah, just I needed a bit more texture, I think. And originality, I also give it a 3 out of 5 because, as I said, they follow the formula, which is good, which is fine. But yeah, it just becomes a little bit predictable, in my opinion. I'm fine with that, but it's not super original. So, guys, these are my thoughts on Saw 10. I decided to keep this spoiler free. But if you want me to talk more into like the kills and who survives and the twists, just let me know in the comments. I might do like a spoiler video. And also, yeah, let me know what you thought about this one. Do you agree that this is like the best Saw film? Or do you agree with me and it's just like top 5? Let me know like which ones are your favorites, which Saw films. And yeah, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!